The roar of the crowd hit like a thunderclap, but Alex Rivera's world narrowed to the single, shattering crack of his father's voice echoing across the auditorium. "That's my boy up there. My son, the first in our family to walk this stage." In that instant, as confetti rained down like fragile dreams, two burly security guards lunged forward, their faces twisted in disdain, barking orders to wheel Miguel Rivera away like yesterday's trash. Alex's heart seized, the diploma slipping from his grip because in the land of the free, his hero of a dad, a Purple Heart recipient who'd bled for this very flag, was about to be dragged out for daring to exist as a proud, wheelchair-bound queer ally in a cap-and-gown sea that suddenly felt like enemy territory. Alex froze mid-stride, the weight of 3 generations crashing onto his shoulders. Born in the sun-baked barrios of East Los Angeles to a single dad who'd traded his youth for desert sands and IEDs, Alex had clawed his way through community college on scholarships and sheer grit, hiding his truth like a loaded clip. Miguel had raised him on stories of brotherhood in the trenches, where love didn't come with labels, but the world outside those foxholes? It was a minefield. Last summer, under the relentless July heat of a Pasadena Pride parade, Alex had finally whispered it to his father. "Dad, I'm gay, and I think I've fallen for someone who gets it." Miguel's response? A bear hug that smelled of Old Spice and engine oil, followed by, "Son, I've dodged bullets for less. You love who you love. That's the real American dream." But dreams had a way of fracturing. Now, here at Stanford's frost-kissed December commencement, Alex's hard-won engineering degree in hand, the guards' gloved hands clamped onto Miguel's chair, their voices a low growl. "Sir, you're disrupting. Family section's full. Move along." Miguel's face, lined like an old battle map, flushed with the fire Alex knew too well from bedtime tales of Fallujah firefights. "Disrupting? I've got more right to be here than you badge-wearing clowns. That's my blood up on that stage." The crowd's cheers faltered into murmurs, phones whipping out like sidearms, capturing the injustice in pixels. Alex's stomach twisted. This wasn't just about a seat. It was the ghost of "don't ask, don't tell" haunting them still. The subtle bigotry that whispered Miguel's open support for his son's queerness made him unfit for polite society, even on a day meant for triumph. From the wings, Alex caught a glimpse of Jordan Hayes, his anchor in the storm. They'd met 6 months back at a Veterans Outreach event in San Diego, where Jordan, fresh from a SEAL deployment that left him with nightmares and a limp he hid like shame, had been volunteering, his broad shoulders straining against a faded Navy tee. Alex, there to help with tech setups for Miguel's old unit, had locked eyes with him across a room of folding chairs and coffee urns. Jordan's gaze, blue as Pacific swells, held a quiet storm. "You look like you could use a hand with that projector. Or maybe just a beer after." What started as awkward small talk over IPAs at a dive bar overlooking the harbor bloomed into stolen weekends. Hikes along Big Sur's jagged cliffs, where Jordan's calloused fingers traced Alex's jaw under starlit skies, whispering promises against the crash of waves. "I know what it's like to love in the shadows," Jordan had confessed one night, his voice rough from suppressed sobs. "SEALs don't get out, we get missions. But you're my off-the-books op, the one worth going rogue for." Their romance was a delicate insurgency. Late night, drives up the Pacific Coast Highway in Jordan's battered Jeep, windows down, Alex's head on his shoulder as Springsteen wailed about Thunder Roads. Jordan taught him knife throws on secluded beaches, laughing when Alex's aim went wild, pulling him close with a kiss that tasted of salt and secrets. But the military's iron grip loomed. Jordan's team, the elite ghosts who vanished into black ops, viewed openness as a liability. "One wrong word, and I'm benched," he'd say, his thumb brushing Alex's knuckles in the dim glow of a motel room. Alex ached for parades where they could hold hands without scanning for threats, but Miguel's quiet wisdom grounded him. "Love's the longest deployment, me Joe. Fight smart, not loud." Back in the auditorium, the guards yanked Miguel's chair backward, his medals jangling like chains. "Let go, you sons of—" Miguel's curse cut off as Alex bolted down the aisle, gown flapping like a cape, his voice a raw bellow. "Hey, that's my father, back off." Faces turned, a ripple of shock spreading through the sea of proud parents and beaming grads. The lead guard, a beefy guy with a buzz cut and a scowl that screamed small-town enforcer, sneered down at Alex. "Kid, stay out of it. This ain't your circus." But Alex planted himself between them, chest heaving, the scent of his father's aftershave mixing with the metallic tang of fear. In that heartbeat, he saw it all. The lonely nights Miguel spent polishing boots in their cramped LA apartment. The way he'd learned to braid Alex's hair as a kid, because moms ain't the only ones who care. The tearful call last year when Alex came out, Miguel's voice cracking over the line. Proud of you always. Now, go find your happiness, like I found mine in the fight. The second guard stepped in, radio crackling to life, but before the static could summon reinforcements, the auditorium doors burst open with the precision of a breach team. 6 figures strode in, synchronized as shadows, their dress blues crisp under the spotlights, chests heavy with ribbons that told tales of storms and sieges. Navy SEALs, Jordan's brothers in arms, the unbreakable cadre from his platoon, faces carved from granite, yet softened by something fierce and unspoken. They fanned out like a wedge, halting the guards mid-motion, the air thickening with the weight of their presence. The lead SEAL, a towering Samoan named Tane with tattoos snaking up his neck like ancient vines, locked eyes on the guards and rumbled, "You touch that man again, and you'll need more than a badge to walk out of here." The guards blanched, hands dropping from Miguel's chair as if scorched. Whispers erupted, "Holy shit, SEALs?" Phones zooming in tighter. Alex's pulse thundered. He hadn't known they were coming. Jordan, breaking from the pack, moved to his side with that fluid grace born of endless drills, his hand finding Alex's in a grip that said, "I've got you," without a word. "Told you I'd bring backup," Jordan murmured, his breath warm against Alex's ear, eyes flicking to Miguel with a nod of respect. The old man grinned, wicked and weary, as Tane knelt beside the chair. "Sarge," Tane said, voice like gravel over silk, "you taught us how to hold the line. Now, let us hold yours." What unfolded next was a masterclass in quiet power. The SEALs encircled Miguel's chair, not with aggression, but an unyielding wall of solidarity that made the guards shrink back, muttering apologies into their radios. One by one, they introduced themselves, not as legends, but as the sons Miguel had forged in fire. There was Reyes, the wiry sniper from Texas with a drawl that hid his sharpshooter's soul. Kai, the medic whose steady hands had stitched more than wounds. And the others, a rainbow of grit from Hawaii to Harlem, each clasping Miguel's forearm in the old unit salute. "He pulled us out of hellholes you can't pronounce," Kai said to the stunned crowd, his voice carrying like a briefing. "And when his boy needed him most, he was there, no questions. That's the code." Alex's throat tightened as Jordan squeezed his hand, the simple touch igniting a fire that chased the chill from his bones. This was their world colliding. The hidden heartbeats of 2 men in love, buttressed by warriors who'd learned to love fiercely in the face of oblivion. The dean, scrambling onto the stage mic, cleared his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, it seems we've a special tribute." Spotlights swung, bathing the group in gold, and Miguel, Miguel, wheeled forward on his own, the SEALs parting like a honor guard. "Alex," he called, voice booming despite the years, "this degree, it's yours. But the fight? That's ours. All of us." Tears blurred Alex's vision as he knelt, embracing his father, the crowd erupting in a wave that drowned out the guard's retreat. Jordan's arm slipped around his waist, a promise etched in muscle and memory. In that embrace, Alex felt the threads weave tighter, love not as a battlefield, but a banner, fluttering high against whatever storms came next. As the applause thundered like distant artillery, Alex pulled back from Miguel, his cheeks damp, the world sharpening into hyperfocus. Jordan's touch lingered at his side, a secret Morse code of thumb against hip, grounding him amid the whirlwind. The SEALs formed a loose perimeter, their postures relaxed, but eyes scanning like hawks. Old habits from ops where one wrong glance meant ambush. Tane clapped Miguel on the shoulder, his laugh a deep bass rumble. "Remember that dust up in Kandahar, Sarge? You with that busted leg, still calling shots like it was poker night." Miguel chuckled, the sound rusty but real, wiping his eyes with a sleeve that bore the ghosts of rank stripes long faded. "Yeah, and you rookies panicking over Sandstorm. Thought I'd die laughing before the Taliban got me." The moment stretched, fragile as glass, until the dean's voice crackled over the speakers again, inviting the honorees back to the stage for photos. Alex hesitated, glancing at Jordan, whose face held that half-smile, the one that said, "We'll figure it out." "Go on, Grad," Jordan whispered, his lips brushing Alex's temple in a ghost of a kiss. "Your old man's stealing the show, but you earned the spotlight." With a nod, Alex helped wheel Miguel forward, the seals trailing like shadows, drawing stares that mixed awe with unease. Whispers slithered through the rows. Are they together? Nah, just bros from a war. But Alex caught the sidelong glances at his and Jordan's proximity, the subtle flinch when their fingers brushed. In California's progressive bubble, acceptance was preached like gospel, yet lived like a tightrope walk. Flashbulbs popped as they posed on stage, Alex's arm around Miguel's shoulders, Jordan and the team arrayed behind like a living monument. The photographer, a wiry woman with a ponytail and a rainbow pin on her lanyard, grinned. This is gold. Family, heroes, the works. Gold. Alex almost laughed. If only she knew the alloy of pain and passion that forged it. Later, in the green room, a stuffy backstage lounge smelling of coffee and hairspray, the group collapsed into folding chairs, the adrenaline ebbing into exhaustion. Reyes cracked open sodas from a cooler, passing them around. To Rivera Jr., may your circuits never short like ours did in the field. Laughter rippled, easy and edged, the kind that bonded men who'd stared down death and walked away scarred but whole. Miguel leaned back, his chair creaking, and fixed Alex with that piercing stare, the one that had seen through childhood fibs and teenage heartbreaks. Proud doesn't cover it, me, Joe. You did what I couldn't, got the sheepskin, built something lasting. Alex swallowed hard, the words landing like shrapnel in his chest. Miguel had enlisted at 18, a Chicano kid from L.A. streets, dodging gangs and poverty, trading textbooks for M16s. The Purple Heart came with a spinal injury that ended his career, but not his spirit. He'd rebuilt their lives on VA scraps and mechanic gigs, teaching Alex to weld dreams from scrap metal. Dad, you built me, Alex murmured, voice thick. It's just catching up. Jordan, perched on the arm of Alex's chair, chimed in softly, his Texas twang wrapping around the words like barbed wire and honey. Sarge, you raised a hell of a man. Reminds me of you, stubborn, smart, and twice as pretty. The room stilled for a beat, the SEALs exchanging glances that spoke volumes. We see you, brother. Kai broke the tension with a snort. Pretty? Hey, is you sweet-talking again? No wonder you got that rep in Coronado. Jordan flushed, but his eyes on Alex held steady, a spark that promised more than jokes. Their connection had ignited in fragments. First texts after the outreach, Jordan's dry humor cutting through Alex's walls. Then that first real date, a sunset picnic on La Jolla Coves where Jordan admitted his own shadows. Grew up in a ranch town where fag was the F word, he'd said, skipping stones across the water. Joined the SEALs thinking it'd toughen me out of it. Turns out, the only thing it toughened was my resolve to own it. Alex had fallen then, hard and heedless, into arms that felt like home port after a lifetime adrift. Their nights blurred into poetry. Jordan's body, mapped with scars like constellations, pressing against Alex's under the hum of ceiling fans and off-base rentals. Whispered plans for a future beyond Dad's repeal. When Jordan could retire, they could build something real. A fixer-upper in the hills, maybe with a garage for Miguel's tools. But reality gnawed. Jordan's next deployment loomed in spring, a classified shadow over their idol. What if this is all we get? Alex had asked once, tangled in sheets that smelled of them. Jordan's answer? A kiss fierce enough to bruise, and then we make it count every damn second. Now, as the green room door swung open to admit beaming relatives, the bubble burst. Alex's cousin Sophia rushed in, her toddler in tow, enveloping Miguel in a hug that smelled of tamales and tears. Tio, you scare us half to death out there. The family chatter swelled, aunts fussing over photos, uncles slapping backs with the SEALs in awed deference. But beneath it, Alex felt the undercurrent. The way Sophia's eyes darted to Jordan, curious but kind. The subtle pat Miguel gave Alex's knee, a silent it's okay to shine. Dinner followed at a nearby Italian joint, the kind with checkered cloths and candlelight that flickered like hope. The SEALs commandeered a corner booth, their stories flowing like contraband whiskey. Tane's tale of a moonlit raid gone sideways, redeemed by Miguel's quick thinking. Reyes mimicking a drill sergeant's meltdown over lost gear. Jordan sat thigh to thigh with Alex, their knees knocking under the table in coded affection. As plates of pasta circled, he leaned in, breath feathering Alex's neck. You were magnificent up there. Held your ground like a pro. Alex's pulse quickened, the wine in his glass swirling like the heat pooling low in his belly. Only because you showed up. All of you. Jordan's fingers ghosted his under-the-table cloth, a promise of later, stolen hours in a hotel room overlooking the bay where they could shed the masks. But as dessert arrived, Miguel cleared his throat, drawing eyes. Got something to say. The table hushed, forks pausing. Alex, these men, they're family now, like you and Jordan. The words hung, deliberate, and Alex's heart stuttered. Miguel's gaze swept the group, landing on Jordan with a nod that sealed pacts. Treat him right, Hayes, or I'll haunt your six from the grave. Laughter broke the spell, but Jordan's grip tightened, his voice low for Alex alone. Wouldn't have it any other way. Outside, under a canopy of stars pierced by Silicon Valley's glow, the night air cooled to flush on Alex's skin. The SEALs dispersed with handshakes and hugs, promises of barbecues in San Diego. Miguel, wheeled to the van by Sophia, pulled Alex aside. That boy's good for you. Real good. Alex nodded, throat tight. I know, Dad. But the road. Miguel's hand, calloused and sure, cupped his cheek. Roads bend, Mijo. Just keep driving. As the van pulled away, Jordan appeared at Alex's elbow, his warmth a shield against the chill. Your place or mine? He asked, eyes dark with intent. Alex smiled, the first real one all night. Ours. For tonight, at least. They drove in companionable silence, the Jeep's engine a low growl matching the anticipation thrumming between them. Alex's apartment, a modest one-bedroom in Palo Alto's fringes, welcomed them with the scent of laundry and leftover takeout. The door clicked shut, and Jordan was on him, hands framing Alex's face, mouth claiming his in a kiss that tasted of Chianti and urgency. Clothes shed in a trail to the bedroom. Alex's gown discarded like old skin. Skin to skin, they moved with the rhythm of lovers who'd learned each other's terrain. Jordan's lips mapping the curve of Alex's collarbone, eliciting gasps that echoed off thin walls. Alex's nails raking down Jordan's back, tracing the tattoo of a compass rose over his heart. North is wherever you are, Jordan had explained once, voice muffled against pillows. In the afterglow, tangled and spent, Alex traced lazy patterns on Jordan's chest, the rise and fall sinking their breaths. Today, it could have gone south, but you came. Jordan's arm tightened, pulling him closer. For you? For him, Sarge saved my ass more times than I can count. Indirectly, through stories that kept us sane. Alex lifted his head, meeting those blue depths. Stories like what? Jordan's smile turned wistful. How he'd talk about you during downtime. My kid's gonna change the world, build bridges, not blow him up. Made us believe in something beyond the suck. Tears pricked Alex's eyes, his father's quiet evangelism, weaving love into war yarns. He believes in us, all of us. As dawn crept through blinds, painting their bodies in soft light, Jordan's phone buzzed, a reminder of a life waiting beyond these walls. Deployment briefs in 2 weeks. Alex pushed it down, savoring the now. But fate, that capricious quartermaster, had other plans brewing. Weeks blurred into a fragile idyll, the holiday lights of Palo Alto twinkling like distant flares as Alex and Jordan navigated their stolen normalcy. Morning started with coffee brewed strong as Jordan's resolve, shared over engineering blueprints Alex poured over for his new gig at a solar startup in Sunnyvale. This panel design, it's going to power whole neighborhoods. Alex enthused one crisp January dawn, marker in hand, scribbling efficiencies on a whiteboard. Jordan, leaning against the counter in boxers and a threadbare SEAL tee, watched with that lopsided grin. Nerd hotness level. Critical. But yeah, light the world up, babe. I'll handle the dark parts. Their banter flowed easy, laced with the undercurrent of time, slipping away like sand through gloved fists. Miguel called daily, his voice a gravelly lifeline from the LA bungalow he'd fortified with ramps and railings. How's the pretty boy treating you? He burned the eggs again. Laughter bridged the miles, but worry threaded through. Miguel's latest VA checkup revealed creeping neuropathy, the war's gift that kept on giving. Nothing a stubborn Rivera can't handle, he'd grunt. But Alex heard the fatigue, the way breaths came shorter on uphill walks. Jordan sensed it too, volunteering for weekend drives south, loading the Jeep with Miguel's favorites. Carne asada from the old taqueria, a six-pack of Pacifico to chase stories. Those visits became ritual. Miguel in his armchair, Jordan cross-legged on the rug like a disciple, absorbing tales of Namera drills and Gulf War grit. You ever regret it, Sarge? Jordan asked once, as rain pattered the tin roof. Miguel's eyes, sharp as ever, fixed on him. Regret? Nah. Met brothers who die for you. Learned love's the only op worth repeating. The words landed heavy, Jordan's hand finding Alex's across the coffee table. A silent vow. But shadows lengthened. Jordan's platoon ramped training. Endless swims in Coronado's frigid surf. Night drops from Blackhawks that left bruises blooming like accusations. Alex tagged along when he could, crashing on a buddy's couch, waking to Jordan's text at 0400. Miss your face. Beach run later? They'd meet at dawn, pounding sand, Jordan's limp flaring on turns, but his pace unyielding. Pain's just intel, he'd say, wiping sweat, before tackling Alex into the surf, their laughter mingling with salt spray. Yet doubt crept in whispers. A teammate's offhand jab at a pride sticker on Jordan's locker. "Hayes, you going rainbow now?" Sent ripples. Jordan brushed it off, but Alex saw the tension in his jaw, the way he'd linger in showers, scanning for judgment. February brought frost to the bay, and with it, a curveball. Alex's startup pitched a prototype at a tech expo in San Francisco, rubbing shoulders with venture sharks in sleek lofts overlooking the Golden Gate. Jordan surprised him there, slipping in post-drill, uniform swapped for civvies that couldn't hide his bearing. "Brought luck," he murmured, hand warm on Alex's lower back as they networked. The pitch nailed funding, cheers, champagne toasts, but elation soured when a silver-haired exec cornered Alex, slurring praise laced with sleaze. "Smart kid like you. Latino fire. Bet you hustle in more ways than code." Alex stiffened, smile fracturing, until Jordan materialized, arm draping casual possessiveness. Hustle's his middle name. "Excuse us." In the elevator descent, Jordan's grip tightened. "You okay?" Alex exhaled, leaning into him. "Yeah, just tired of the side eye." Jordan's kiss was fierce, claiming, against the mirrored wall. "Then let's give him something to stare at." Emboldened, they pushed boundaries. A Valentine's dinner at a Castro haunt, hands linked across bistro tables, ignoring the double takes. Jordan even Skyped his platoon from Alex's couch, camera angled to include him in frame. Casual mentions of "my guy," drawing raised brows but no backlash. Yet the military's hydra stirred. Jordan's CEO pulled him for a chat, post-mission psych eval laced with probes. Personal life stable? No distractions. Jordan stonewalled, but the seed festered. Nights turned restless. Alex waking to Jordan's thrashing from nightmares. Flashes of ops where buddies didn't come home. Guilt twisting like barbed wire. "What if I can't be both?" Jordan confessed one storm-lashed evening, thunder rumbling like incoming fire. Alex held him, heart aching. "You're not a weapon, Jay. You're you seal lover, my north." Spring teased with cherry blossoms, but March delivered the blow. Miguel's doc called mid-shift. "Flare up bad. Hospital stay imminent." Alex raced to L.A., Jordan commandeering leave to drive, the highway a blur of taillights and tension. In the sterile ICU, Miguel looked smaller, tubes snaking like traitors, but his grip on Alex's hand was iron. "Tough as you, Mijo." Jordan hovered, fetching iced chips, his presence a bulwark. The SEALs mobilized, care packages from afar, Tane flying in for a bedside vigil, regaling with bawdy jokes that coaxed Miguel's wheeze laugh. "You lot. Still can't salute without screwing it up." But vulnerability cracked through, Miguel pulling Jordan aside, voice low. "Keep him safe out there. World's got enough ghosts." Discharge brought fragile recovery. Alex shuttling between coasts, Jordan's deployment clock ticking merciless. Their goodbye loomed like a guillotine. Pre-deep briefings, gear checks, the ritual packing that hollowed Alex's chest. Final night, they drove to Griffith Observatory, LA's lights sprawling below like a battlefield one. On the hood of the Jeep, wrapped in a blanket against the chill, Jordan traced Alex's palm. 6 months. Then I'm out. Full pension. No more shadows. Alex's breath hitched. Promise. Jordan's eyes, silvered by city glow, burned true. Swear on my trident. Marry me when I get back? Make it official, rings and all. The question hung, electric, and Alex's yes shattered into a kiss that sealed fates, bodies arching under stars that witnessed silent vows. Dawn came cruel, Jordan's duffel slung over shoulder at the gate. "Love you, engine whiz." Alex clung, memorizing the scent of him, ocean and resolve. "Come back whole." The terminal swallowed him, leaving Alex adrift in the roar of departures. Back in Palo Alto, work blurred days, Miguel's update to Tether, holding the fort. Your man's got spine, don't worry. But worry nod, amplified by news feeds, escalations in the Middle East, ops gone dark. Sleepless nights, Alex pored over Jordan's letters, dog-eared photos. Them on that beach, Miguel's grin at dinner. Pride swelled, too. A queer love story etched in resilience, defying the odds like the seals themselves. Then, fracture, a call from Coronado, Jordan's voice strained over satline static. Minor scrape, nothing. Miss you. But intel leaked, ambush, evac under fire. Alex's world tilted, driving to LA in a haze, collapsing into Miguel's arms. He'll make it, Miguel growled, wheelchair-bound but unbowed. Rivera blood runs deep. The weight stretched eternal. Prayers whispered in Spanish. English, the language of hearts. Days later, word, stable en route stateside. Relief crashed like waves, but scars lingered. Physical for Jordan, deeper for them all. Reunion at Naval Medical, San Diego. Jordan, bandaged but beaming, pulling Alex into a hug that mended fractures. Told you north. The SEALs gathered. Miguel wheeled in by Tane, the circle complete. In that room of beeps and bandages, Alex glimpsed eternity. Love as the ultimate mission, won not by force, but by holding on. Rehab became their new battlefield. Jordan's days a grind of PT sessions and therapy couches in Coronado's sun-bleached sprawl. Alex carved space in his schedule, commuting weekends, turning the sterile gym into a sanctuary of inside jokes and stolen glances. One more rep. Sailor boy, Alex teased, spotting Jordan's bench press, their fingers brushing in coded encouragement. Jordan grunted through gritted teeth, sweat beading on his brow. The shrapnel scar on his thigh, a puckered reminder. Only for you, code monkey. This hurts worse than BUD/S Hell Week. But progress etched in milestones. First unassisted mile run along the bay. Jordan's limp fading to a ghost. Late afternoons coding together on Alex's laptop. Jordan's head on his shoulder, murmuring odd algorithms that harness stars for clean energy. Miguel's recovery paralleled, his bungalow a hub of healing. Video calls bridged gaps, Miguel's frame filling the screen with tales of neighborhood walks, the wheelchair swapped for a cane on good days. Yerbuel'd say, I'm stubborn as a mule, blame the genes. Alex laughed, but pride swelled. His father's alliance, once a quiet undercurrent, now roared. He'd started a vet support group at the local VFW, weaving in LGBTQ threads. War don't discriminate. Neither should we. Jordan, tuning in from rehab, shared stories that blurred lines. SEAL ops where unspoken bonds saved lives, love's quiet code in foxholes. Sarge, you paved the way, he'd say, and Miguel's nod carried weight, a baton passed. Yet cracks spiderwebbed. Jordan's discharge loomed, but the military's bureaucracy snarled. Endless forms, psych clears laced with scrutiny. A session unearthed ghosts, commands veiled digs at his lifestyle, whispers that his injuries stemmed from distraction. Jordan came home hollow-eyed, slamming the door. They think I'm broken because I love you? Fuck that. Alex pulled him down, hands framing his face. You're not broken. You're battle-tested. We fight this together. That night, they made love slow and deliberate, reclaiming agency in touches that mapped scars as maps of survival. Dawn brought resolve. Jordan filing formal appeal, Alex drafting letters to reps, Miguel rallying old unit contacts. The SEALs chimed in, Reyes hacking admin glitches, off-books of course, Kai connecting to advocacy docs. Brotherhood's thicker than red tape, Tane growled over a group call. Summer unfurled in golden haze, Alex's startup surging, panels installed on low-income roofs, Miguel beaming at the ribbon-cutting streamed live. Jordan joined, cane in hand, their hands clasped publicly for the cameras, a statement etched in sunlight. Pride season hit like a wave, San Francisco's streets pulsing with color. They marched, Miguel waving from a float, the SEALs in tow, blues swapped for tees emblazoned with rainbows and tridents. Chants rose, love wins. Jordan's arm around Alex's waist felt like armor, the crowd's roar bomb. But midway, a counter-protest snarled, signs spewing venom, faces twisted in hate. A bottle sailed, shattering near foot, Jordan shoved Alex behind him, stance shifting to threat assessment. "Stay back," he barked, but Miguel wheeled forward, voice cutting sharp. "Enough. We've bled for your right to spout that garbage. Try me." The SEALs closed ranks, a wall of unyielding calm, and the hecklers wilted, slinking away. Adrenaline thrummed, Alex's heart pounding as Jordan pulled him close. "You good?" A nod, then a kiss, bold, unapologetic, amid cheers that drowned the din. Post-march, they retreated to a Haight-Ashbury flat, bodies slick with sweat and triumph. Jordan's hands roamed, urgent, peeling away layers. "Seeing you out there, fierce, free, it wrecked me in the best way." Alex arched, gasping, their union a defiant symphony. Afterward, sated and tangled, talk turned to futures. "Rings soon," Jordan murmured, fingers toying with Alex's. "Chapel in Vegas? Or something beachy?" Alex grinned. "Beach." With Dad officiating, vowed to love like he fought. But joy tempered with reality. Jordan's appeal dragged, benefits dangling. A letter arrived, denial, citing conduct unbecoming. Rage boiled. Jordan paced, fists clenched. After everything, they spit on Sarge's legacy too. Alex wouldn't yield. He rallied. Petitions to the Chronicle, op-eds framing their story as the repeal's unfinished business. Miguel penned a piece, raw and riveting. "I dodged bullets so my son could love openly. Don't dishonor that with desk-side bigotry." It went viral, shares spiking like flares. The SEALs amplified. Tane's podcast episode dissecting the hypocrisy. Kai's TEDx on queer vets pulling heartstrings. Pressure mounted, brass backpedaled, a quiet reversal granting honorable discharge. Jordan's call came mid-shift. "It's done. We're free." Alex hooped, tears streaming as he raced to the base, leaping into arms that caught him sure. Celebration swelled. Miguel hosting a blowout in the bungalow yard, lanterns strung like stars, marimba tunes mingling with grill smoke. The SEALs arrived en masse, toasting with tequilas, stories flowing freer than ever. Reyes pulled Alex aside, clapping his shoulder. "Hayes was a ghost before you. Now, he's alive." Kai chimed, "And that proposal, don't let him chicken out." Laughter pealed, but Miguel's toast hushed the revelry. Glasses raised, eyes misty. To family, the blood kind, the chosen. To love that endures ops and odds. Jordan knelt then, under the jacaranda's purple cascade, ring glinting, a simple band etched with coordinates of their first beach. "Alex Rivera, navigate this life with me?" Yes tumbled out, sealed with a kiss that tasted of forever. Wedding planning wove through fall's amber, a tapestry of joy laced with trials. Venue hunts along Malibu's cliffs, Miguel insisting on wheelchair-accessible paths. Tux fittings where Jordan fidgeted, Alex soothing with quips. But health faltered. Miguel's neuropathy flared, steps faltering, yet his spirit blazed. "Won't miss my boy's big day for a little nerve glitch." Jordan stepped up, PT routines adapted for three, their home, a haven of care. As vows neared, doubt nipped, old wounds reopening in quiet moments, Jordan's nightmares spiking. "What if I'm not enough?" Post-SEAL scarred up. Alex's retort fierce. "You're my hero, flaws and all." Like Dad. The eve brought ritual. Bachelor crash at the bungalow. SEALs regaling with toasts that teetered between ribald and reverent. Dawn broke clear, waves crashing like applause. The Malibu beach stretched like a promise under October's benevolent sun. Waves whispering secrets to the shore as guests milled on sands dusted with rose petals. Alex stood at the altar, a driftwood arch draped in wildflowers and fairy lights, heart hammering a cadence faster than any drill. His tux, slim cut and midnight blue, hugged his frame, boutonniere of lavender nodding in the breeze. Miguel, cane steady in one hand, the other clasping Alex's, wheeled a path cleared by Kai and Reyes. "Nervous, Mijo?" Miguel murmured, eyes twinkling despite the pallor creeping in. Alex squeezed back. "Only if you start crying first." Miguel's chuckle rumbled. "Deal. But fair warning, I'm blaming the sand." The officiant, a silver-haired lesbian rabbi with a voice like aged whiskey, signaled, and the quartet struck up, violins weaving Pachelbel with a modern twist, evoking canyons and heartbeats. Jordan appeared at the far end, flanked by Tane and the SEALs in matching grays, his limp conquered to a confident stride. The sight stole Alex's breath, Jordan, radiant in tailored black, blonde hair tousled by wind, eyes locked on him like a targeting laser, softened by soul. Whispers rippled through the 100-strong crowd. Families from LA's barrios, Stanford alums, vet buddies. Look at them. Damn, that's love. Jordan reached the arch, taking Alex's hands, thumbs stroking knuckles, and silent we made it. Vows flowed like confessions long held. Jordan first, voice steady but laced with gravel. Alex, you saw me, beyond the uniform, the scars, the silence. You taught me home isn't a place. It's the man who holds your six when the world's firing blanks. I vow to navigate storms with you, to build bridges where walls stood, to love you fierce and free till the stars burn out. Tears pricked, Alex swallowing hard. His turn. Jay, you crashed into my orbit like a comet, bright, unyielding, rewriting my stars. You showed me strength isn't just surviving. It's choosing joy in the foxholes. I promise to code our dreams, to stand sentinel in your shadows, to cherish you, soldier, partner, my endless north, through every deployment life throws. Rings exchanged, simple gold warmed by palms, the rabbi's blessing a balm. By the light of creation, may your union be a beacon. The kiss ignited, salt-kissed, sun-warmed, cheers erupting as waves applauded. Miguel's whoop cut sharpest, cane raised like a saber. Reception unfolded under a tent aglow with lanterns, tables groaning under fusion feasts. Carnitas tacos, grilled octopus, cakes layered with guava and vanilla. Toast cascaded, Sophia's teary ode to Tio's boys finding their rhythm. Tane's booming to Hayes, finally off the market, but still a pain in the ass. Laughter peeled, dances swirling. Alex and Jordan's first, swaying to Ben E. King's Stand By Me. Bodies synced like old ops. Miguel cut in, twirling Alex with surprising verve, whispering, your mom's smiling down, rainbow warrior herself. Later, Jordan with Miguel, an awkward shuffle turning tender. Sarge, thanks for raising him right. Miguel's pat. You honor us both. Night deepened, stars pricking velvet sky, bonfire crackling tails. The SEALs gathered Jordan for a ritual hazing, shotgun pulls of mezcal, Reyes ribbing his domestication. Alex watched, heart full, until Sophia tugged him aside. He's at primo. But cherish the hard days, they forged the gold. Wisdom landed, echoing Miguel's earlier quiet. A doc visit en route, confirming the neuropathy's advance, treatments looming. Don't tell the groom, Miguel had insisted. One storm at a time. Alex nodded, resolve stealing. Fireworks burst, painting the horizon in jubilant arcs, the couple stealing away to dunes for a breath. Jordan pulled Alex down, blanket-soft sand cradling them. Husband, he tested grin wolfish. Alex's laugh bubbled. Sounds right. Forever starts now. Their lovemaking was reverent. Hands exploring as if anew, waves a symphony to gasps and murmurs. Dawn found them entwined, vows etched deeper than ink. Honeymoon whisked them to Big Sur, cabana perched on cliffs, days hiking redwoods, nights in sea view tubs. But idol fractured on return. Miguel's hospital dash, infection from a stubborn ulcer. Alex and Jordan raced south, the drive a blur of worry. ICU again, monitors beeping dirges, but Miguel rallied, griping at Jell-O cups. Wedded bliss treating you soft. Jordan's bedside vigil drew confessions. Sarge, that ambush, thought of you and Alex, your stories. Kept me fighting. Miguel's hand clasped his. Good. Now fight for the quiet wars, the ones at home. Discharge brought adaptations. Jordan retrofitting the bungalow with voice tech Alex coded. Ramps widened. Miguel's cane upgraded to a smart one tracking vitals. Their life wove tighter. Alex's solar firm expanding. Jordan consulting for vet nonprofits. Their home, a Palo Alto craftsman blooming with herbs and plants. But autumn's chill carried omens. Miguel's scans darkening, treatments taxing. Holiday lights twinkled defiant. Thanksgiving a feast of gratitude. Miguel carving turkey with trembling hands but unbowed spirit. The table's full, hearts fuller. Winter gripped, Jordan's first post-discharge holidays a revelation. No briefs, just presents. They strung lights on the bungalow, Miguel directing from his rocker. Stories of Christmases past in barracks. Gifts exchanged. Alex's custom drone for Jordan's hobby flying. Jordan's engraved watch for Alex. Time's ours now. Miguel's to them. Dog tags from his kit, engraved family first. Tears flowed freer than eggnog. New Year's Eve, countdown ticking on TV, Miguel pulled them close. Made my peace. You too? Keep burning bright. Alarm bells rang subtle. His pallor, the cough he'd waved off. Midnight kisses sealed resolutions, but dawn brought crisis. Collapse, ambulance wail. ER confirmed, palliative shift, time measured in weeks. The world tilted. Alex's grief, a tidal wave. Jordan's arms the only anchor. We face it as a unit, Jordan vowed, voice breaking. Hospice wove final threads. Miguel's room a gallery of photos, graduation triumph, wedding sands, seal salutes. The team rotated vigils, Tane's lullabies in Samoan, Kai's morphine tweaks gentle. Alex read from his solar blueprints, Miguel's eyes lighting. Change the world, Mijo, for all of us. Jordan shared unpublished letters, Miguel's war wisdom for young seals. Love's your true north. Last days blurred. Hands held, stories swapped, laughter piercing pain. One frostbitten morn, Miguel slipped away, peaceful, surrounded, a faint smile as if hearing distant cheers. Grief crashed, raw and relentless, but in the funeral's somber honor, full military, flags folded sharp, strength surfaced. Taps echoed, rifles cracked volleys, the seals bearing casket with precision grace. At graveside, Alex's eulogy trembled but soared. Dad taught us heroism isn't medals. It's loving loud, standing firm. He built bridges in a world of walls, and will carry that torch. Aftermath stretched, days dissolving into routines laced with absence. Jordan held Alex through sobs that shook foundations, their bed a refuge. Spring bloomed, tentative, memorial garden planted at the bungalow. Roses for Miguel's thorns, lavender for love's enduring. Work beckoned, Alex's panels lighting pride centers, Jordan's book on queer vets inked with Miguel's words. Anniversary dawned, 1 year wed, waves lapping the same beach. They renewed vows impromptu, rings kissed anew. To North's found, legacies lived. As sun dipped, Alex leaned into Jordan. He'd be proud. Jordan's arm tightened. He is. Grief's tide ebbed slow, carving canyons in their days, but Jordan and Alex navigated with a map Miguel left. Love as compass, resilience as keel. Spring's thaw brought purpose, a foundation in his name, Rivera Bridges, funneling solar tech to underserved vets and queer youth centers. Alex dove in, blueprints evolving into blueprints for equity, late nights at the drafting table fueled by Jordan's coffees and quiet back rubs. You're channeling him, Jordan murmured one evening, chin on Alex's shoulder, inhaling the scent of graphite and determination. Stubborn visionary, both of you. Alex turned, pulling him into a kiss that tasted of salt-rimmed memories. We both are. Keeps the ghost dancing, not haunting. Jordan's consulting gig burgeoned, workshops for transitioning seals blending PT with psych, emphasizing the soft skills brass once scorned, vulnerability as valor. He incorporated Miguel's tales, anonymized but potent. One vet pulled his squad through not with firepower, but by admitting fear. That's command. Feedback poured. Lives rerouted, suicides averted. The SEALs wove in, guest spots turning sessions into reunions. Tane's booming presence a morale bomb. Sarge to prove, turning warriors into wise men. Privately, Jordan grappled. Nightmares lingered, shrapnel aches flaring with weather, but therapy, cathartic talks with Kai, unraveled knots. Alex attended one, holding his hand through breakthroughs. Proud of you, he'd whisper post-session, their drive home filled with easy silences blooming into plans. Adopting a rescue pup, a mutt named Sarge with a limp and endless loyalty. Summer scorched, pride circuits a whirlwind. They keynoted LA's massive march. Alex's speech a thunderclap. My dad, a vet who dodged bullets and bigotry, taught me acceptance isn't given, it's guarded. Like the SEALs who stood for us that graduation day, we stand now. Jordan beside him, hand in his, the crowds roar a living pulse. Backstage, a young enlistee approached, eyes wide. Sir, your story, it's why I'm out. Thanks. Jordan's nod carried Miguel's echo. Fight smart, kid. Their romance reignited in after-parties, hotel suites overlooking parades, bodies rediscovering rhythms, slow explorations under city glows, Jordan's whispers of mine against Alex's skin a mantra. Fall harvested growth. The foundations first install panels crowning a San Diego shelter for homeless queer vets, Miguel's plaque gleaming. Dedication drew brass, ironic suits in rows. The CO from Jordan's denial days offering stiff handshake. Admirable work. Jordan's smile was steel. Takes a village or a squad. Reception buzzed, but tension simmered. Whispers of policy shifts, repeals edges fraying under new admins. A protest brewed, vets rallying against cuts, and Jordan itched to join. Alex tempered. We build, not burn. Dad's way. Compromise. They organized, channeling fury into funds, the SEALs marching with signs blending tridents and rainbows. Winter whispered change. Alex's promotion, leading a division, Jordan's book deal, Foxhole Hearts, Queer Valor in the Ranks, prefaced by Miguel's letters. Writing unearthed depths, Jordan poring over journals in their study, Alex curling beside with tea. This one's gold, Jordan read, Miguel's scrawl on love's endurance. Tears fell, but cathartic, forging resolve. Holidays healed, bungalow aglow, Sarge at feet, extended family toasting ghosts. Sophia's brood tumbling, uncles swapping yarns, the tree laden with ornaments from ops and ops imagined. New Year dawned with a spark. Alex's test, positive adoption match, a 5-year-old girl for foster churn, Elena, with Miguel's fierce eyes and a laugh like waves. Home study whirlwind, but approval came swift, their prep a dance of cribs and classes. First meeting at a park, Elena shy in braids, clutching a stuffed seal. For the heroes, the caseworker said. Jordan knelt, offering a tiny, trident pendant. We're the team now. Alex's heart swelled, Elena's hands slipping into his, small, trusting. Parenting crashed like boot camp. Sleepless nights, Elena's nightmares from past homes echoing Jordan's. They tag-teamed, Alex's lullabies in Spanish, soothing, Jordan's stories of brave diversions calming. Milestones mounted, first steps wobbly as Jordan's post-injury, words tumbling, Papa J, Daddy Alex. Miguel's garden became her playground, roses guarding swings. The SEALs doted, Reyes, Uncle NG with gadgets. Kai Doc checks gentle, Tane's visits epic tales. Challenges reared. Elena's school integration, whispers about 2 dads, met with Alex's advocacy. PDA talks on diverse families, Jordan's presence quelling bullies. A field trip clash, teachers sidelining Elena for a family tree project. Jordan stormed in, calm thunder. Our trees got roots in deserts and code labs. Draw it proud. Resolution swift, policy tweaked. Anniversary 2. Beach redux, Elena scattering petals. Vows expanded. To raise her fierce, like he raised us. Vows whispered. Rings kissed. Elena's giggle ceiling. But legacy called deeper. Foundation global now. Panels in refugee camps. Jordan's book bestseller. Tours blending signings with service. A DC invite. Congressional hearing on vet equity. Thrust them center. Alex testified, voice steady. My father's stand at my graduation wasn't just personal, it was policy. Honor service with inclusion. Jordan followed. Anecdotes raw. SEALs thrive on trust. Deny love, you deny that. Applause thundered, bills budged. Home anchored. Evenings 3 deep on couch. Elena's drawings papering walls. Stick figure families with capes and canes. One night, tucking her in, she asked, Abuelo Miguel, was he a superhero? Alex smiled, Jordan's hand in his. The biggest. And you're a psychic now. Years layered, Elena blooming, school star, soccer whiz, her dad's blend of grit and grace. Challenges ebbed, Jordan's aches managed, Alex's firm sustainable empire. Reunions with SEALs, Miguel's plaque polished yearly, stories evolving. Elena's generation carrying torches. 10th anniversary. Cliffs again. Elena officiating in a frock, words precocious. Love's like the ocean, deep, wild, always coming back. Rings renewed, kiss eternal. In quiet afters, Alex traced Jordan's wedding band. We did it, built the bridge he dreamed. Jordan's eyes, still blue fire, held his. And we'll keep crossing, together. Decades danced by in a tapestry of triumphs and tender scars. The Rivera Hayes home, a beacon on Palo Alto's tree-lined streets. Expanded now with Elena's wing, her laughter a constant counterpoint to the waves of memory. Elena grew into a force. Valedictorian at 18, Stanford-bound like her dad, majoring in environmental engineering with a minor in vet advocacy. Grandpa Miguel's blueprint, she'd quip, tattoos of solar arrays, and tridents inking her arms. Alex watched her commencement. Echoes of his own, guards long banished, chest swelling as Jordan squeezed his hand. Our girls got the fire. Post-ceremony, the SEALs, grayer, limps shared, formed honor guard, Tane booming. Little Sarge, you outrank us all. The foundation thrived global. Panels powering villages in Afghanistan's fringes, queer safe havens from Manila to Mexico City. Alex helmed as CEO, Jordan's book a curriculum staple, their joint TED. From graduation standoff to global stand, love's long game. Applause global, but impact intimate. Letters from vets. Your story saved my marriage, my life. Pride evolved. Elena marching with her girlfriend, a poet with ink-stained fingers, Alex and Jordan trailing. Canes matched, hands linked defiant. Health's thief crept subtle. Jordan's shrapnel stirring arthritis. Alex's desk years taxing knees. But routines fortified. Yoga on the deck, Sarge 2, the pup's successor. At heels, Miguel's garden a riot of blooms Elena tended. Anniversaries marked milestones. 20th beach vow. Elena's vows her own. 30th, a cruise with the squad, toasts slurring but sincere. Grandkids arrived. Elena's twins, Mateo, and Sophia too. Dark-eyed whirlwinds clambering Jordan's lap for Abuelo J's, war yarn sanitized sweet. Once, a hero dad stood for his boy at school. Alex interject and built sons to light the world. Miguel's plaque in the nursery, stories, oral lore. Challenges lingered, policy backslides, a new admin eyeing repeals. They rallied, testimony sharp, foundation funds fueling fights. A rally clash, counter-protesters jeering, but Elena's megaphone cut. My grandpas fought for this flag, and you're right to yell. But love? That's non-negotiable. The SEALs flanked, history repeating heroic. Jordan's 60th brought reflection, memoir sequel, Echoes of North, dedicated to Miguel, the first guardian. Launch packed, Elena emceeing, tears collective. Post-reading, Alex pulled him aside. You're my legend. Jordan's kiss, slower now, deeper, we wrote it together. Ages advanced, canes traded for walkers, but fire unquenched. Elena's wedding, to her poet, under redwoods. Them walking her aisle, Jordan's arm steadying Alex's. Vows echoed, theirs, navigate storms, build bridges. Reception danced till dawn, grandkids twirling. Final chapter loomed gentle. Jordan's heart, war-worn, faltering. Hospice home, garden view, Elena's kids at bedside. Tell him the graduation story, he rasped, Alex nodding, voice weaving the tale. Guards frozen, SEALs striding, love's line held. SEALs gathered, Tane's hand massive on his. Brother, you held, ours eternal. Jordan slipped at dusk, Alex's hand in his, Elena's song fading. A lullaby Miguel hummed. Grief revisited but seasoned. Foundations torch Elena's, book series hers. Alex endured 2 years solo. Elena's care a mirror of theirs. At 84, garden bench, sunset, gilding roses, he felt them. Miguel's clap, Jordan's squeeze. Built it true, he whispered, peace settling like confetti long fallen. Legacy pulsed, bridges spanned continents, loves guarded generations. In Palo Alto's heart, under stars that witnessed first hooks, the story endured. Not in ink, but in lives lit eternal.